In February last year, I was binge watching YouTube videos trying to find a solution to fix my tight and weak hamstrings, and it was only until I clicked on this video that changed everything.
The Nordic was first published 140 years ago, and being able to do this is the greatest common denominator between the world's greatest horizontal athletes, because this is the greatest point of force in horizontal speed and jumping.
Say no more. Say no more. And that was the exact moment I knew what I had to do. And that's when I started to go after that Nordic hamstring curl. In this video, I'm going to show you my journey, what I learned along the way, some important tips and tricks you might be able to use yourself, and also just to give you motivation to also go after that incredibly amazing exercise. And I'm telling you, I couldn't wait to get started. I was so hyped to try it out, but I didn't have a gym membership at that time. But luckily enough, I've had some equipment at home to kind of makeshift a Nordic setup for my first ever Nordic hamstring curl. And that's how it looked. But don't worry, there is tons of other solutions to set up a Nordic hamstring curl. You don't have to be stacking up weights like I did. Most available, edge of the bed. No guarantees for this one. Under the heating. No guarantees again. Wall bar. A person you trust. The couch technically works as well. Nordic stick, great solution. And the Nordic strap also. But there are tons of other ways to do it as well. Back to my first Nordic. I tried with the resistance band first, but it didn't quite work. So then I tried to see how far I can go, how far I can lower myself without the resistance band. And well, it turned out not that far at all. And that's when I realized I had a really long way to go. But I also realized like how much potential I really have to improve in this exercise. And the good thing was that I could start completely pain-free. So my advice to you, if you're starting your Nordic journey right now, is to make sure you're not feeling any pain at all. So try to find the best possible setup right from the beginning, padding your knees and your Achilles. So after attempting my first ever Nordic hamstring curl, the next few weeks I just continued to fight my way down, trying to go as slow as possible and getting as far down as possible, obviously. Let me just show you exactly what I did in the first 6 weeks. This periodization really allowed me to progressively overload my hamstrings as they got stronger. And starting with low reps, low sets like this really made sure I'm not challenging my tendons and muscles too much for what they can handle, since they were really weak at that point. I'm sure you can start more intensely, but I was just being cautious and didn't want to overdo anything. And it worked. I still made the progress. After 3 months, I was really almost able to control fully down and even sweeping the floor on the way back up. Honestly, at that point, I was so excited about my progress. I wanted to push harder. But unfortunately, just a little later in June, I got another knee setback. Patella tendinitis broke out again, medial meniscus pain. And yeah, that's another topic. But if you want me to make a video about that, how I dealt with that, let me know below in the comments. Anyways, from then on, I completely avoided Nordics because I thought they could potentially make my knee worse. So 5 months went by, and by the time I reintroduced myself to Nordic hamstring curls in the gym, because at that time I got a gym membership and I was doing hamstring curls, lying hamstring curls for about 2 months, I was about at the same level as 5 months prior when I stopped. So that was not bad. And then I got an extremely nice Nordic curl setup. And from there, things went uphill fast. My first set of Nordics on that setup felt absolutely amazing. And I kind of regretted that I avoided those for so long. They felt absolutely great. Even in vacation, I didn't make any excuses. I found a way to get it done. Under the edge of a bed with pillows, got creative, got it done. No more excuses. And then back in the gym with a proper setup, weekly sets of 3 times 5 reps, sometimes 4 times 5, gave me the best progress I've ever made. I slowly gained real control over the eccentric, and it was only a matter of time until I would get my first full Nordic. And remember, the only thing I ever did was just fighting down those eccentrics. I did try with an object in front of me to get back up, but I prefer just doing the eccentrics because they give you the most hypertrophy and measurable progress. I always try to not bend at my hips. That's really important, keeping a straight line between the knees, hips and shoulders, because bending makes the exercise easier but makes it more difficult to measure your progress. And we want to make sure we're really measuring that progress over time. The best thing you can do is just make videos from a side angle and you'll see the progress from week to week. Then the day came when I finally felt like I could do it. And I tried and failed. But I tried again. And I got it. My first full Nordic hamstring curl exactly 284 days after attempting my first ever Nordic. I'm telling you, that was an amazing feeling. You can't tell on the video, but I was feeling like a champ when I got that first Nordic, really. And honestly, if you get that first Nordic, I promise you, man, you get that feeling too. It's just an amazing feeling if you see that progress, the hard work you put in, and the reward you get out of it. And obviously I continued to train. 1.5 months of continued weekly training resulted in me now being able to do Marty St. Louis Nordics. What are Marty St. Louis Nordics? The difference is that when you're coming back up, not with normal Nordics, you can have your hips slightly bent when you're coming back up. With Marty St. Louis Nordics, you want to have your hips completely straight, your shoulders above your hips at all times, not taking any momentum, having your arms behind your back. That's a Marty St. Louis Nordic. And yeah, when I got that, I was incredibly thankful for kneesovertoesguy, who really motivated me to get after that exercise. Not only are my hamstrings no longer tight and weak, but as studies show, I'm also way more protected against hamstring strains and ACL tears now. And you definitely don't say no to that. In fact, you want exactly that as an athlete. So now it's your turn to get that Nordics. And here are a few things that might help you on that journey. The first thing is to experiment with how far you place your knees apart. Some may find it more comfortable if they're closer together, others if they're further apart. That's on you to decide. Just see what you find more comfortable there. Then another thing is to find something you can push your feet into. You see as well on the Nordic benches, there is always something you can push your feet into, because that allows you to get more tension on the hamstrings and it just makes the exercise easier for you. As far as for the programming, I'd say once a week for an intense session, 3 to 4 sets of 3 to 6 reps is good. If it leaves you sore for the next few days, you're fine. You can rest and go again the next week. That's what I did. I did them once a week. They left me sore for a few days, but I managed to fully recover until the next week so I could go 100% again. But if you're noticing like not real changes from week to week, don't forget, progress is not always linear. So be consistent. And then if you don't see the progress, maybe up the frequency a little bit, lower the volume of the sessions itself, but maybe up the frequency, do it 2 times a week and see how you progress there. But for me, what worked, once a week, fully recovering until the next week, and then going 100% again. And if there was 2 things I want you to take out of this video, it's that you can do it too. Just look at where I was. Just look at where I started. And then the second thing is that consistency and the good setup, finding a proper setup, is absolute key. I genuinely hope this helps you, motivates you to go after that Nordic hamstring curl. And no matter where you're at, share your progress down below. Share with the people your wins, your tricks, if you're already doing Nordics, how you got there. Share it so other people can benefit as well. Stay locked in, especially if you don't feel like it. Peace.